Alrighty guys, what's going on? I'm here with the volleyball coaches for the very first time. I'm here on the farthest left. I'm here with Coach Vanderzwart. I call her Coach Vandy. And to the right of her is Coach Hess, the assistant. Big season coming up for this volleyball team. If I'm right, Coach Vandy, I believe you're in year number 3 of your tenure here at Grove City High School. So I'm going to start there. Kind of describe to me how's it been?
Well, last year we started lots of very young players and kind of started over. So we are really excited this year to build off of that momentum from last year with lots of returners. I think we have 7 or 8 returning letter winners. We have 3 or 4 now that we're throwing back in the mix that are new. So we're hoping that the new with the old combined has some better success this year.
Absolutely. And Coach Hess, same thing for you. How's it feel like to be here at Grove City as an assistant coach, and what are you looking forward to this year?
I'm really excited. This is my second full season with the team. We have a really strong group this year, so I'm excited to see what they do and the way that they come out. We had a lot of preseason training, and they put a lot of time and effort into that, and I think that's really prepared us for the matches going forward, so I'm excited to see how we do.
Absolutely. This is a question for both of you. If you guys have been keeping up with my interviews and how I like to cover around, I interviewed Coach Waits and Coach Gleason, both of them saying how they want to focus on their next opponent mentality. Not this opponent or this opponent, but the very next opponent. So, have you guys put in anything similar for your volleyball kids?
Probably the biggest thing that we've talked about is just making sure that we're taking care of our side of the net. We are so young that we really need to push and take care of the little things and take care of kind of tidy up our side to really make it successful. So for us right now, we're focusing on our side of the net, and then that's our preseason mentality. Then going into the season, it's really who do we have next, what can we improve on from the night before moving into the next night, since we have games so quickly, we don't have a lot of practice once season starts.
And Coach Hess, would you like to add?
I would say that the big word that we're focusing on is accountability. These girls have a lot of goals and they have a lot of things that they want to do, and so it's our job as coaches to make sure that they're achieving that and working towards that every practice. And so that's kind of what we're doing, is holding them accountable for what they have.
You two mentioned youth, and youth was the biggest thing out of last year's team. And like you said, 7 and 8 letter guys have returned, which is really big for this team. And with that in mind, what would you expect out of those players this coming year?
I think we're expecting a lot of leadership out of our 3 senior returning letter winners, Casey Bell, Katie Lovell, and Lakin Sigmund. Sorry, Lakin. But we're expecting a lot of leadership out of them. And then also our setters, who are kind of like our quarterbacks on the court. We have 3 setters back too. So we're really expecting the leadership from our setters to mesh with the leadership of our returning seniors to really bring up another level. And I think we have a really good chance of surprising some people this coming season within the OCC. So we're excited to see, like Coach Hess said, the work that we put in this summer, seeing that pay off, once this fall happens.
Absolutely. I've gotten an opportunity to look at your guys' schedule, and to me, it's a really good schedule. Some of the teams I've looked at lately, such as Hilliard Bradley and all those, even those here in the OCC, such as Kahana, are pretty good teams that are coming in. They were really good last season. What do you expect out of Grove City with a tough schedule like this?
I think we know a lot going into, especially with teams like Kahana, who didn't have a ton of senior graduates last year, that we know what we're going to be up against. And so those are things that we'll focus on in practice, so that the girls will be ready to get after it. I think we have a good chance to, like Aaron said earlier, surprise a lot of those teams. I don't think that they're going to be quite as expectant of us to do well as I think that we will this year. I think we're coming with a lot of spunk and a lot of fire, ready to get after it.
And do you want to add, Coach Vanny?
No, I mean, I think pretty much the the crop in the OCC, our division of OCC is going to be Gahanna and Westerville Central, and they traditionally the ones are kind of duking it out. And like my coach has said, and what I said, I think that we are going to be able to surprise some teams because last year we played with a bunch of sophomores and juniors, and now those have grown and risen and worked hard. They played club all summer. They played club in the spring. They played beach all summer. They did their skills training. They did individual trainings. So I think they have put the work in to really reap those benefits.
Absolutely. Let's talk about how these kids progressed from last year to this year. So, like I said for the last couple of times, youth is a big factor. And that leads me to the question, how have these kids kind of progressed going from the end of last year to the start of this year?
So at the end of season last year, we had one-on-one meetings with most of our kids and gave them things that we needed them to work on in order for us to be more successful as a team. And I think they took what we asked them to and they put it to work, and we see it on the court every single day, whether it's defensively or offensively, moving their swing around. There are tons of kids on this team this year who you can just tell have put in the work over the season and have been getting the reps in the gym like they need to, and they are ready to go and have a fire to win.
Absolutely.
And we can't control size. I mean, I'm sure all coaches have told you the same thing. We may not have the tallest players, we may not have the fastest players, but we've got players with a ton of heart, and they want to redeem themselves from last year. So we can't make them grow 4 inches, but we can get them to jump higher. We can get them to move laterally better. We can put them in the right defensive positioning. So that's really what we're focusing on, the things that we can control.
Now, I'm going to go into the football aspect a little bit. So I just interviewed Coach Waits today, and he kind of brings up how his football players can have the lion mentality each and every game. With you guys, do you guys have anything similar to that you want out of your players going into a contest?
I think we just want them to go out and play smart and do like we said, the things that they can control. So we're not going to go and bull rush anybody over. We're not going to outpower anyone, but we can out-strategize them. We can outthink them. So that's our expectation, is to really raise our volleyball IQ of the girls on the floor, so we're outplaying the other side of the net.
And I would say to add on to that, just working with their mental toughness. So last year, we did have a very young team. This year we've got a much older one. And volleyball is a game of mistakes by its nature. So for these kids to just understand, when we make a mistake, we shake it off, we get after the next one. And we're focusing on the game and the IQ and moving things around instead of, I messed up and I lost a point there. We don't care about that. We care about that next point.
Absolutely. And we talk about there's plenty of sports that are like that. Football, you don't expect to win every single game. You have basketball, you can't make every shot.
Right.
So you guys brought up a great point in that. So with that in mind, I want to go more into that. What do you look at from your kids if they make one mistake? How do you want them to recover?
Well, we really tell them, so we do a lot of mindfulness on Fridays when we practice as a program, and one of the things we brought up this past Friday with our mindfulness is our motto up here on the wall, where it says sportsmanship, character, attitude, and excellence, and it never, not one word up there says anything about being perfect. We never would expect the girls to be perfect. We're certainly not perfect as coaches or as teachers, but we also try to demonstrate that, hey, we messed up, let's go to the next thing. I didn't put you in the right spot. Okay, can we live to play another point? That's one of the things that we say a lot in our huddle. So it's just really being able to brush that bad play off and move on to the next one and just really move forward. And, we have 5 sets. There's a reason why we have 5 sets, that you don't play very well in one, you can forget about it and pick up on the next one.
Absolutely. You two, any last thoughts?
We're just excited for the season. We're excited to show everybody in Grove City and in our community what we've got and what we can bring to the table. And especially for those other OCC teams, I hope they're ready.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like the girls are kind of chomping at the bit, and so tomorrow will be our first really true sense of what we've put together so far. We have a quad scrimmage at Westerville North with some teams that are pretty good, similar levels as ours. And then scrimmage against DeSales, which will be really tough on Thursday. So I think we can take a lot of learning points tomorrow and then apply them to Thursday's scrimmage, and then we have 2 more scrimmages next week before we open the season.
Absolutely. And with those scrimmages, I can't wait to report those. I will be out on August 23rd. That will be the very first game of the regular season for this volleyball team against Taze Valley. I will be broadcasting that, so I can't wait to be down there. You two, thank you very much for letting me come and interview you two. I can't wait to get you guys more in throughout the season.
Great.
Thank you so much.
We look forward
We're
to it.
excited to see you.
Go
Thank you.
Hounds.
Go Hounds.
That was perfect.